How often do you say yes to things that you literally do not want to do? Saying no is not selfish. It's one of the most empowering skills that you can learn to develop, and even your brain agrees with that. Hi, my name is Precious, and one of my bachelor's of science is in psychology. Let's talk about the art of saying no and the cognitive psychology of healthy boundaries. Healthy boundaries is about you knowing your limits, respecting your own time and your energy, and communicating them effectively. So in this video, we're going to talk about the psychological cost of people pleasing, the brain's mechanisms involved in assertiveness, and lastly, some practical tips for saying no with full confidence. So let's start with the psychological cost of people pleasing. People pleasing occurs out of the fear of being judged or disappointing other people. This stems from a deep-seated need for acceptance and belonging. When you say yes to everyone, that takes such a huge mental toll on you because you're overcommitting to things. This can 100% cause burnout and anxiety. You start to prioritize others more than you're prioritizing yourself. You start to feel undervalued and you feel like you're being taken for granted. Mind you, this does lead to resentment over time. Constantly saying yes can make you feel like your value is tied to what you do to others or for others, rather than your value just being from who you are as an individual. Now let's talk about the brain's mechanisms involved in assertiveness and decision making. So your prefrontal cortex is responsible for rational decision making and self-control. It helps you weigh the pros and cons of you saying yes or no to something that you're being asked to do. So how exactly does this work during assertiveness? So when you assert yourself, your prefrontal cortex overrides these emotional impulses. So things like guilt or fear, which allows you to make decisions that are more aligned or in tune with your values. While your amygdala, which is your brain's emotional center, is activated when you fear rejection or conflict. This can make saying no feel so incredibly uncomfortable and scary. So your brain might push you to saying yes because it might just avoid that short-term discomfort of you saying no, or something that just leads to a confrontation. Your amygdala is like, I don't want to deal with that. The good news is that your brain can learn to be assertive. So this is called neuroplasticity. So neuroplasticity is when your brain's ability to form new neural connections in your brain. So each time you're saying no to things that you don't want to do, it is strengthening those neural pathways associated with self-confidence and also boundary setting. The key question that people usually ask when I speak about topics like this is, well, how to say no while maintaining healthy relationship. I would say that the first step is for you to reframe your perspective. Saying no is not about rejecting people. It's about you respecting your own limits so that you can show up as your authentic self in your relationship with yourself and in your relationship with other people. Think of it as a way of you preserving your energy for things that actually matter to you. The next step is for you to use cognitive techniques as a way to manage your guilt. Remind yourself it is okay to say no. Your time and your energy is valuable. You don't have to say yes all the time. Saying no doesn't mean that you're a rude person. Picture how saying yes might lead to burnt out and anxiety, while saying no can lead to you protecting your peace. The third step is for you to practice assertive communication. So I want you to practice using I statements. So saying things like, I can't do this right now, or I don't want to do this right now, instead of you saying something like, you're asking too much from me. Remember, you don't owe anyone a lengthy explanation. A simple, I don't want to do this, or I'm too busy, or I simply just don't want to do this is enough. Like, you don't owe anyone a long explanation as to why you're saying no. The fourth step, now this is only if this is applicable, is that you can offer alternatives, okay? Remember, you don't have to do this. This is when you actually want to do the thing, but you just don't have time right now to do it. So you can soften the impact. So if someone wants you to attend a meeting that you don't want to, you can say something like, I can't attend the meeting. However, I can review the notes that you take when I'm free. Something like that to soften the blow if you want to do that. Step 5 is for you to set boundaries proactively. Share your limits early and let people know your boundaries up front to avoid misunderstandings later on. So for example, you can say things like, I'm happy to help with this, but I can only assist for a certain limit of time. You have to be specific in it, because when you let people know that you're happy to help, they might form this schema in their head and in their mind that you're happy to help all the time, when in reality, you're only happy to help for a certain amount of time. Step 6 is for you to stay calm in the face of pushback. Some people will try to test your boundaries. Be firm yet respectful, and repeat yourself and say no if necessary. For example, you can say something like, I understand that this is important to you. However, I want to prioritize other commitments right now. That is a way of you reaffirming your no. You're staying firm, yet you're remaining respectful. There is a lot of benefits from you learning to say no. When I don't want to do something, I don't beat around the bush. I just say no. I am not stressed. I am not feeling burnt out or overwhelmed because I have all these things that I need to help people with. Rather, I say yes to the things I genuinely want to do, and the things I don't want to do, I say no. And I have more time and energy to pour into the things that actually matter in my life and in my future and in my goals. Saying no is a skill that needs practice. However, doing this is so freeing for your mind, your body, and your soul. The next time you're tempted to say yes out of guilt, remember your peace of mind matters. Say no. Remember, setting healthy boundaries is so important. Let me know if you loved this video or if there's anything you'd like me to further explain on. That is all for today. Bye.